Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Noor Allah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Before Huzur Mufakkir Islam arrives, inshallah, I only have a couple of points to highlight. Continuing from what the issue that we raised last time, and even this time, mashallah, it was raised by Maulana Muhammad Hussain, and yesterday it was raised by Huzur Amir Sunni Dawat Islami, that the main problem with our youth is bad company. We need to stay away from bad company. That is one of the reasons, and I would like all of you to please pay attention. When we go out on the streets, and when we find those people who are on the wrong track, those people, those boys who are taking drugs, those boys who are involved in gambling, for whom taking alcohol has become normal, they take it every day. When we go to these boys and when we ask them, they tell us one reason. Why did you have to do this? Why did you start taking drugs at the age of 13? Why have you become an alcoholic at the age of 15? How come you have started gambling before you have started to earn? And you know what they say? Most of the boys have said one thing. The one thing which has become common and which is increasing by the day is broken families. Those boys say that my parents are always fighting at home. There is no peaceful atmosphere in my house. My mother does not talk to my father. My father is never at home. Now imagine, if the father is never at home, how can we expect the children to be at home? We say that the children should be at home, but when the father is not at home, when the father is out till late night, when the father is always out with his friends, when the father is not there to take the children to school, to bring them back from school, to go to the open days and open evenings, the father is never there. It is always the mother. The father is no more a role model for the children. And then they even go to the extent of saying that my father beats up my mother. They have said it. My father beats up my mother. I mean, in this day and age, you are beating your wife, and that too in front of your children? Look at the irony. You know the atmosphere in our houses? Parents don't sit together. I don't know about the new parents, but the old parents, the mother and the father won't sit together on the sofa. The mother and father won't walk together on the street. The father will be walking a mile away from the mother. But when it comes to arguing, when it comes to fighting, they fight in front of their 10-year-old child. And remember, when parents fight in front of their children, those children are scarred for their life. They think this is what this relationship is all about. The father picks on the mother picks on the father. They are always arguing. They don't see any compassion between them. They don't see any friendship between them. They don't see any bonding between them. All they see is them fighting. And then those boys say, Maulana, what can we do? We need some comfort. We need some love. We need some support. And to forget all those things that we are facing at home, we have started to take drugs. So at least for that time, we forget what is happening. We have started to take alcohol, that at least for that one night, I forget all the problems that I'm facing. Because there is no one to turn to. Those are the people, even we find it hard to reach because they don't come to the Ijtema. And I would say that do not underestimate these Ijtemas. लोग कहते हैं कि इज्तिमा में तो सुधरे हुए आते हैं, बिगड़े हुओं को कौन जाएगा? हम उनके पास भी जाते हैं, लेकिन एक बात जरूरी है कि हमने इज्तिमा का माहौल देकर बचपन से हजारों ऐसे बच्चों को ड्रग एडिक्ट और ड्रग डीलर बनने से बचा लिया है. ये इज्तिमा के माहौल से अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, तो इसीलिए इज्तिमा के माहौल को और आगे बढ़ाना है. But I need to talk to these parents that you need to change the atmosphere at home. There should be love at home. There should be compassion at home. There should be peace at home. There should be comfort at home. And give all those things to your children in the house so that they don't need to go outside to find those things. It is when you don't give, when you fail as a parent, that they have to go outside and look for these things. This is very, very necessary. And if your child stays out at night, if your child is not at home, as I said, for a father, the wife is your best friend after marriage. Your children are your best friends after marriage. You don't need to look for friendship outside. You don't need to stay up late every night of the day outside with your friends. Fair enough, you go once a week or something, that is fine. But if you are out every night with your friends and you are not at home spending time with your wife or your children, there is some serious problem with the relationship. Sort it out. The only way forward is to sort it out. And the other thing I want to mention is, every other week, and I'm not exaggerating. These Maulanas, young Maulanas, alhamdulillah, they will testify. Every other week, these young Maulanas are called to the houses. And what is the masala? This boy has divorced this girl. He gave her 3 talaq. So many places. Talaq has become so common. They are using it so lightly. And I asked those people, what happened, brother? 3 months ago, you were dancing on your wedding. Even your father was dancing. They were all on stage dancing. When you entered the hall, there were drums banging. There was music playing. There was a DJ there to play music of your choice. None of them were doing parda. The women were without parda. What happened now? And you cut such a big cake in front of all the women and you were feeding each other. What happened? This was only 3 months ago, and now you have said 3 talaq to your wife? The thing is, that marriage started with the disobedience of Allah. And this is how it ends. Within months, there is divorce. There is no toleration. And I ask you, who are using this weapon, this is a weapon, it's like you are having a gun. If you have a gun, you have to protect it. Those nations which have nuclear power, they have protected it. So we have to protect. This is like a gun. If you use it, it will kill. After giving 3 talaq, they say, oh, I didn't mean it. It is only 3 words. How can 3 words break this bond? How many words made this bond in the first place? Only 1. Only 1 word made this bond. Just 1 ijab and qubul made this bond. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it 3 times more difficult to break this bond. You have to say talaq 3 times to break it. And to make this bond, you only have to say qubul once. And the nikah is done. But you are using it so lightly. This is a weapon. And that is why Allah has given you. You are the stronger gender. That is why women cannot give talaq, because they are supposed to be softer. You are supposed to be stronger. So you should be practicing restraint. You should be saying, no, I'm not going to say talaq, and you should have control over your emotions. But what happened? On little things, you're going to your mother's house again, talaq. You're going to your friend's house, talaq. You don't know how to cook, talaq. You are doing this, talaq, on petty things. And I wonder, what do these young people think? Do they think they're going to marry again and there'll be somebody more beautiful and better than her? You think there is somebody perfect waiting for you over there? There is nobody perfect. There is no one perfect in this world. If you don't like this one, you will most likely not like the other one too. We all have defects. There is nobody perfect. So if you think that I'm going to leave her and marry somebody else, this is only a myth. Even if you marry, you will be in the same boat the next 3 months after. Allahu Akbar. So whatever Allah has given you, be happy with that. Marriage is all about a lasting bond. When you marry, there is no temporary marriage in Islam. The only marriage in Islam is a permanent one. When you marry with the intention that this bond is going to last, inshallah, till I die. Inshallah, till I die. and if there are any problems, I am going to overlook. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does He not say that you might think something is bad for you, but it is good for you? And if you think something is good for you, that might be bad for you. So don't think about that the grass is going to be greener on the other side or the other one is going to be better for me. No, what Allah has given you is better for you. Make it last, have tolerance and have love in your life, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. If our homes are peaceful, then we won't have those crime and those evil things which are happening on our streets, and we will be able to safeguard the future of our younger generation. This was a very short message I wanted to give. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin.